Hello and welcome. We have a really special guest with us, arguably the best-selling Indian author of all time, Amish Tripathi. It's wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you.
And you're here with us partly because you've just, the third part of the Shiva Trilogy has just come out, the both of the Vayuputras.
Right.
And also you've just signed a deal which is almost certainly the biggest ever advance for an Indian author ever.
Right.
So great to have you with us here on NDTV.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
The Shiva Trilogy, let me just start with that first. You've sold what now? Something like 40 crores worth of books. Is that's almost certainly an Indian record.
That's the figure I've been told by Westland. Yes.
What do you think is really behind it? What do you think has really resonated with everyone here?
The truth is, honestly, I'm as gobsmacked as anyone else. Some of them say that maybe the stories are fast-paced, that's why it sells. Some of them say that maybe the philosophies in it, in the books are engaging. Some of them say that maybe the marketing of the books has been good. If you want my honest opinion, I think it's the blessings of Lord Shiva. I think that's why it's sold so much.
that's one way of looking at it. So let me also just put forward some theories. Let me see if you agree with them or not.
Okay.
I think there is a lot of interest in mythology and in roots and in traditions. Perhaps it's not always been very accessible here in India. Amar Chitra Katha always did well. People loved it. They make their kids read Amar Chitra Katha to try and connect with the roots. Right. You, in a sense, brought some of those roots and made them a bit more accessible. Do you think that could be part of it?
I would say that our myths, our philosophies, it's a part of our DNA. It's been around for thousands of years. It's not going to die out so quickly. But I don't think I'm the only one who's done this. There have been many, and many of them far superior to me.
The basic sum and substance of what you seem to be saying is that the myths, the legends of Lord Shiva or anyone else is based on a real person who may have existed in the past and that somehow got
You're right. The Shiva Trilogy is based on that premise. What if we believe that Shiva was a real historical man who lived 4,000 years ago, and his adventure, his karma was so grand that people started thinking of him as a god. So we believe this premise. What's the adventure of a man called Shiva who came down to what we call the Indus Valley civilization? The locals at that time called it Meluha. And the wars that he fought, his adventure, his love story with a Meluan princess called Sati, that's what the books are about. But through these stories, I'm trying to convey my understanding of Lord Shiva's philosophies.
Some of what you say, though, in the books, and notably, I don't want to be a spoiler and give away the ending of this, but
thank you.
Some of the technology that you talk about, for example, out here is very advanced technology, which you seem to say may well have existed thousands of years ago as well. Devi Astras, for example.
The thing is this, that these are interpretations. For example, there are descriptions of the Brahmastra in the Mahabharata, which is eerily similar to that of a nuclear bomb. I am not saying that this did actually happen. My books are clearly fictional. But perhaps maybe that part does deserve some scholarly research with a bit of, as the old Christians used to say, with a bit of charity.
Yeah, because a lot of what you say about Meluha itself, the orderly way in which that particular civilization was set up, or the other technology, you seem to be saying that at a time in the past, and you say this in the very ending also, you're alluding to the fact that there was a time in the past where India was really, really advanced technologically, socially, the way society was structured, and we lost some of that over the centuries.
India was an attractive culture in terms of wealth, in terms of technology. There was a lot of good that was in India. Now, the point I want to make is that we shouldn't swing to the right-wing extreme either, where we assume that India was the only great country. That wasn't true. So, my suggestion is we should move away from the left-wing extremist view, which supposes that there was nothing great about India before the British came and civilized us, or the right-wing extremist view, which is that India was the only great country and everyone else was a bunch of barbarians. The truth was somewhere in the center. We were a great country, no doubt about it. There were other great countries as well, whom we taught and whom we learned from.
Right. Talking about right-wing extremists, I'm somewhat surprised, and it's not that I'm trying to egg people on. Have you had anybody coming up to you and saying, how dare you refer to Lord Shiva as a flesh and blood man with a lot of his eccentricities, some of the language that you have him using, especially in Immortals of Meluha.
Right.
Has anybody come up to you and saying, how dare you refer to Lord Shiva in that manner?
I get emails from some of them saying that my grandchild has become interested in religion thanks to your book, and we are delighted with this. I get emails from Muslims, from Christians, saying that they find this inspiring. My point is that I'm not surprised by this at all, because at our core, India is a deeply religious and a deeply liberal country. Because if we weren't, then we would have been in as much chaos as Pakistan.